Good morning,
Morning.
Morning, everybody.
Michael, Juan. I'm so super excited for today.
The
So,
one year anniversary.
1 year anniversary of the G.I.JOE 3D printing podcast. Um, I, I would argue we're still within the bubble of our humble beginnings,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Yep, you got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. So we have a ton of guests from the G.I.JOE 3D printing group with us today. And I don't want to ramble for too long and take too much time away from them. So we're going to get into it pretty short. I do want to quickly talk about Assembly Required, which I went to about 2 weeks ago. It's in Des Moines, Iowa, and it was absolutely amazing. If you've ever heard anyone talk about it, it's exactly what they say. It's a smaller show, but Ron Rudat's there, and there aren't enough people there where you have to stand in line for a few minutes to get near them. Like you can just walk up to them and talk to them for half an hour. It was a great show. I got seated next to my table was next to Ron Wagner, who's a comic book artist, like a prolific comic book artist. And so he did the cover for the issue of G.I. Joe Real American Hero, for which I've based like a tattoo covering my whole arm. Like it was pretty wild. It was awesome. I just had such a good time at this show. And it's I don't want to make it sound like it's better necessarily than Joe Fest. It's just different. Like Joe Fest was the first show I'd ever gone to, and it was absolutely amazing. And it's just this huge monster. It's this whirlwind of a show. There's so much going on and so much to see. And then Assembly Required is like a more laid back, much smaller event for now. But just holy cow. So anyway, a big part of the reason I'm bringing that up is because I went to this dinner on Friday night, and one of the things you got for going to the dinner was Joe Cola.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And since I didn't fly there, I drove. I get to have this today. So I didn't get a cake, but I did save my Yojo Cola so I could enjoy it during our episode.
That is awesome.
Oh, I did that wrong. I'm supposed to
Yeah.
level out. All right. Do you guys have anything before we jump into it?
No.
No. Heck, I'm just looking forward to today, man. Let's get it rolling.
I've been looking forward to this for a while. All right. So our first guest is Mr. Mike Eastman. So Mike's created some pretty cool figures and is working on some more. So take it away, Mike. And when you want me to, I'll pull up any images you want me to share.
Hey everybody. My first project was Tight Ship. Good morning. It was Tight Ship, which I've seen. I sold a few copies of, and I'm really proud of how that all turned out. John Sparkman helped me with he did all the articulation for me. And John's taken me under his wing. He's taught me pretty much everything I know about printing so far. And the other figures, we're working on the 18. We're working on Slave to the Cobra Master set. The Selena and Remar.
Oh, nice.
And I got those.
Oh, there.
It's kind of like solid figures. I don't know if you can see them well.
I got
I'm still trying to figure out his exact size, because I know he's probably like twice Duke's size in the cartoon.
Does he come with ferret throwing action?
It was a bat. It's a trike. It's a 3-wheeler.
Yeah, right now he's just he's a solid figure. I've printed these out. Just these are nothing's articulated, just to kind of have an example of them.
Wow, those look great.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have these images ready in just a second. I have to.
Okay, cool.
I apologize. I have to upload them kind of one by one.
There's the Tight Ship. This is not even the finished one. This is just the prototype, but this one, because it's in blue, it's a lot easier to see than the flesh tones one.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And right now, John Sparkman is trying to turn it into a O-ring, if we can make it right with the legs and all, because I don't want to lose the appearance. for
Right.
articulation. I still want to keep her feminine looking. That's the problem. The one thing I don't like about O-rings is they kind of look weird sometimes.
Yep.
These images are sent in by Fred from the group. He's the one that was actually asking about a tight ship custom. That's why I decided to release her to everybody. And he's in the process of painting, and I think it looks great painted. Because I've not had the confidence to try and paint mine yet.
Oh, that looks really good.
So I will, since you kind of blazed through it pretty quick, I'm going to pull up these different pictures one at a time if you want to.
Yeah. And that's Remar. That's just the design of them there.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Remar.
Yeah, that's a great turn.
You didn't even get a Conan the Barbarian out of this.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's where they got the idea for him at.
Yeah.
And there's Selena the slave girl that helped Duke.
Oh, that is, yeah. I see where you're going.
So, what software are you using for sculpting these?
Well, I've got a couple people help me. I think it's all ZBrush.
Okay.
And yeah, my idea is just to get things that nobody has, like things I've always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get things I wanted into reality, and then just sell a limited number just to recoup whatever's involved. You know, that's my goal.
Okay. Awesome.
The 18, because there's really no good 18 anywhere.
There's a lot of interest. There's
okay.
a lot of interest.
Yeah, there's okay 18s, but there's no like full 18 bodies or all. So my goal with 18 is I want to make a 3 3/4 set, and I want a blister packet with all accessories. I don't know if you remember the Galoob set in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was like 8 years old, that was the greatest toy ever made. You know?
I remember, and I already feel bad for saying this. I remember seeing it on the peg at Toys R Us and looking real close at it, and it was just this super cheap plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of turned my nose up at it because the sculpting was a little shit. Hold on.
Oh, he's got it.
Uh-oh. He's going to the shelf.
Yeah, I have them, but I couldn't.
Like it's.
Oh yeah, they're bad.
It's a little rough.
Let's see. You can see the detail.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be better. Mr. T, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It's still a little shiny because he just came out of the printer this morning. And it's weird. I tried mixing some leftover resins together and somehow came out with like a marbleized effect. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those have the rubbery heads, and the heads that.
Yeah, the paint apps are fucking weird.
That and what you're doing, if you can somehow O-ring fashion, you're gonna blow these out of the water.
I'm hoping.
Yep.
It all started because I collect a lot of die cast, and I was like, I want good figures because the die cast cars are so great now, but there's nothing to like. You look on eBay, they've got like the static figures, and the static figures are terrible. There's one where Mr. T looks dead. I mean, it's just like.
Oh.
So are you looking to try and do these just using like 3D printing as additive manufacturing? Is it something where you're going to try and get molds done and cast these things? Like, what's your?
Well,
are you going to try and sell them unpainted or?
Well, I was going to sell these just kind of like unpainted, but I'd really like to make some new stuff and get that molded. You know. So I don't know. But yeah, I was just trying to. Me as a fan, I'm trying to make stuff that I like, that's acceptable to me, and just offer it out to whoever else would be interested. And I'm trying to do like all the different sizes too, just because I know some people like. I like O-ring, but I also like 5 POA, like the reactions. I really like them, just because I grew up with Star Wars. So I want to offer those and the O-rings if I can, and you know, like 12. I made her in 12-inch. I don't know how much demand there'll be in 12-inch, but I think it looks cool. You know?
It looks cool. It looks cool, and they're sculpted with enough detail. Because I did buy one from you. Like there's enough detail there that it looks fantastic, and especially like the bigger it is, the easier it is to paint. In my opinion.
That's what.
Yeah, they're potentially going to look amazing at 12-inch.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was my goal. I'm gonna print them in 12 and like learn to paint action figures on them because I'm still new to all this. I'm gonna learn on the 12, and then hopefully I'll come down to like the tiny one and be like, okay, get the details right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've got her 3-inch, the 6, and the 12, and that's kind of my goal for all of it, just to offer to whoever needs whatever.
Are you possibly pursuing other characters from that episode of Community?
Yeah, that was part of my goal. As soon as I sell, so I plan to sell 10 3 3 3/4 and 10 6-inches of the tight ship, and then I'm going to use that and work at making like 2 more of the figures,
Mm-hmm.
and then
I got
finally
3
come
kids.
Huh?
I've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
I just watched that again. I had a friend visiting like a week or 2 ago, and he hadn't seen it, so I made him watch it. And sorry to steal your thunder, but there was a toy show on the History Channel called "The Toys That Built America." Did anybody see this?
Yep.
And like when they were talking about G.I. Joe, instead of showing G.I. Joe commercials, they showed the Community like fake commercials.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. Well, I was explaining that to my friend, and he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "You haven't seen that episode?" So I had to make him watch it. So sorry.
Yeah. Next, I want to make Buzzkill and G.I. Jeff.
Oh, such a good episode.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I was going
Go
to say,
ahead,
has
Mark.
anyone done a full size Submachopter yet? Obviously, you've done the.
I've done the miniature. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's done done the full size.
Somebody will. I would love to do it if I had time.
Yeah, I just love that episode.
It's so good. All right, hey, Mike. Thank you very much. I'm gonna wrap up this portion, and we're gonna move on and talk to Steve's Toys. But stick around, and we'll talk to you again in a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks.
And Steve, welcome
Hey,
back.
Steve.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Cool.
I'm glad. Thank you for pulling through. So for those that don't know, young Steven here contracted the COVID-19 virus, and he's powering through to be here with us today. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Cool. So what do you want to show us today?
I'll show you a couple of things I'm working on, and then after that, I'll show you one of the printed things I've done. Let me share my screen here.
Okay. It's up.
Yeah.
So this is the Dreadnought tricycle or trike. Just something I'm currently working on now. Still got some design features to add in here, like panel lines, motors, stuff like that. I still have, obviously, up here, I've got to add, the gunner turret, and there's still a lot that has to be done to it, but I'm about, I'd say 70% done, and then I'll split it in half for printing, and that's that. That's one of the things I'm working on. And then this is
this monster.
And they're all classified scale. This is Night Raven.
Jeez.
Do you know like the final length?
Not yet. I'll make adjustments measurement wise when it's completed. But you're looking at probably about 4.5, maybe 5 feet in length.
Yeah. Because it's like at 3 3/4 inch scale, it's huge.
It's
yeah, it's got to be 2.5. So.
Yeah, so it'll be double that at least for classified scale. Because I kind of make my stuff a little bit oversized. Plus, besides having the drop-down cockpit like the original it'll also have a top loading canopy as well.
Okay.
I'll
That's
obviously, right now I haven't done any of the lines, none of the detail. So this whole area here that I don't know if you guys can see the little square I'm doing there.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
you'll all these basically I'll make an opening cockpit, similar to what I did with the Rattler and the Sky Striker, although more closer to the Sky Striker. Same with I still have to do the Top Gun here. Right now, I still haven't done any of the stuff for the drone back here, so I'll make the attachments. I'm not sure if I'm going to add landing gears for the drone. I might add that as an extra feature, so that way, if the drone's not attached to the Night Raven, or if someone just wants to print the drone themselves, they can actually have landing gears for it.
Yeah, and they did use the drone for other things too. So, like the
Yes,
drone
they
by
did.
itself is a good piece to have and more manageable. Like, not everyone's got a spare 6-foot table they can
Yeah,
throw a Night
With
Raven
the
on.
Raven.
and that's essentially even where I'm at. Like the Dragonfly I printed, because of how large it was, I actually wound up just selling it, the prototype, because I just did not have space for it. I might even sell my Sky Striker, the Night Boomer I printed. Originally, I was going to print one for myself, but I don't have room, especially after backing two of the Eternia sets.
Ugh,
So yeah, I just don't have room for stuff anymore. But yeah, so I'm thinking about, like I said, adding landing gears for that. Because the drone I'll probably keep just because it's smaller. Night Raven, I don't think I'll keep one, just due to size. And then one of the things I am going to change, I'm going to fill this in here. This was just for reference, I guess. I had kind of a change of heart on how I was going to do the gears. The gears they're still going to have, they'll move up and down, but it'll just, each gear will be by hand. So it won't be a mechanism. I don't want to fool with it. It's take too much time. I am in talks with a big toy manufacturer about doing some project by project work for them. And
Awesome.
so when that happens, I'll be done with all this stuff. So I'll probably be taking some time off to do. So right now I just want to kind of just get this stuff done. So because what they've got, it's going to keep me busy for quite some time.
Oh, very nice.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've been kind of paying attention to what I've been doing and watching, all the streams and stuff like that, and looking at the Instagram posts. And so,
Very cool. Looking forward to when you can talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, I can't talk about anything.
Of course.
I can't even say who it is until
Yep.
all the paperwork's done. Right now, they're just getting me in their system.
Mhm.
Once I'm in their system, then I work for this company. But then I can't say what I'm working on until they release
Yep.
what it is that I'm doing. And then once, and more than likely, because I'll be on one of their panels. So
Okay.
I was already asked if I'd be open to be on one of their panels, and I said that's fine. And they'll give me talking points on what I can say, what I can't. So, but
Awesome. Congratulations, man.
Very
thank
cool.
you. So that'll definitely keep me pretty busy. So other than the Night Raven, and then of course I am working on the whatchamacallit, the whale as well, but I don't have anything new to show on that. I've kind of taken a break from working on that to try to finish up the cycle first. Then I'm going to finish up the Night Raven and then the whale. But I did here. Let me close out.
Yeah, the whale's gonna be another monster too, though.
For what?
The whale. That's a monster too. It's not as big as the Raven, but that's a pretty big boy.
No, it's not as big as the Raven. I mean, it's gonna be pretty big. Definitely, probably about the same length as this, but wider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that looks fantastic. But the thing that I love is your prints are so dialed in. Like when I look at your FDM prints, like they look fantastic, and I'm
Thank
super
you.
jealous of that. Like
Yeah.
I've been able to pull off a couple of good, like a handful of good FDM prints, but by and large, there's always so much frustrating cleanup and things. Your stuff just looks fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken me a long time to kind of perfect, my process, but a lot of it is just talking to other people, seeing what they've done, going on other 3D printing pages, not even just toy pages, but like when people do the modeling and, because I mean, I do some resin printing. I do them for like obviously the little windshields, you know, I use them for like the canopies, but I don't like to print with resin. I actually hate resin. It's so messy and it smells
Yeah.
and I mean that's why it's like I'm glad Artwan's doing the figures and I'm doing vehicles, because with figures you don't want to print those in with FDM. You want that in resin, So it's one of those things where for me, I want my prints to look clean. I want them to look nice. So, I and every printer is different, in regards to what it can do and its tolerances. And so, I always go through everything. I check all my E steps. Um, I make sure all my set, like I said, everything I do setting wise, I want it to reflect whatever it is I'm printing. Um, and because I want it to look good, I want it to, not have too many panel lines. I mean, I even got, and this is the one thing I was really proud of. If you look, it's here. Let me actually zoom for my camera here. On the side of the top portion here, see how it has almost, it looks like a scales.
Yeah.
I did that because I wanted it to have the look of like a carbon fiber type hull.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and that was just a little thing I learned in Kira, and how to do just different things there. And so
So
yeah, I mean it's and then I got this to operate like the original.
That's incredible.
It fit figures in here, and so got the removable engine cover. And then for anybody the only thing I didn't do is I didn't want to deal with that stupid mechanism to make this a true hydrofoil.
Mhm.
So I just make pegs. So the pegs plug in at the bottom.
oh, okay.
And so that way it does stand, and
Pull him back.
and
up.
it's pretty sturdy too. So in fact, I'll show you.
Hey, Steve, we are gonna have to move along, man.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, if you're able to, there we go. Yeah, that's fantastic. That is just absolutely fantastic, dude. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's about it.
Very
So
nice.
we thank you again. Always great to have you on, and looking
you.
forward to what you do next, man. Sounds like it's going to be awesome. So, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. And our next guest is Mr. Sean Cho, who I've been looking forward to meeting for a long time. How's it going?
Going well. Nice to be on the show.
Yeah, I've been just always impressed with how just precise and perfect your stuff looks. Like it's fantastic. It's really good.
Thank you.
Great to have you. And it's not just 3D design, but you're the printing and the sticker, like everything. So
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome that you're
I
here.
try to be well-rounded. So yeah, I think 2022 has kind of been like the year of G.I. Joe for me, because I do a lot of this stuff just to keep sane from my daytime job, which can get pretty boring. So I kind of make toys to keep myself occupied and keep the brain moving. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of go through some of the projects that I worked on in 2022. If that's okay, I'll
Yeah.
go through real quick, and then if we want to go into any detail, we can kind of stop there. So.
Awesome.
So I started off 2022 by doing the Jeeps. So I started with the Cobra Stinger, and then I did the Vamp Mark 1 and Mark 2. I think Steve was alluding to having a lack of space. So, because of that lack of space, I only have the Stinger. I don't have the Vamps, but I do make all three. So that's kind of, and I do make the sticker sets for all of them as well. So that's
I thought I wasn't gonna like stickers on these things at this scale, and a lot of it I think just because the stickers that we all put on our GI Joe toys when we were kids were awful. Like they didn't age well, and we were kids and we put them on all jankety, and a lot of times the way the designs were, they were meant to cross panel lines and all kinds of stuff. And but so I got a set of stickers from you for the ferret, and like it changed how it looks. It makes it they just everything pops. It brings it together. I was really impressed with how nice they were and
yeah,
how important they are.
it definitely adds, especially when you have long panels of just blank space. Once you put a sticker on there, like just anything, just like a simple no step or a simple access panel, it really draws out the models. Yeah.
Yeah. It's especially, no kidding, being able to do white. Like I like to print my own like water slide decals. I can't do white. Like that's an absolute game changer.
That's a huge deal with especially for the Stinger, because it's black. So you do have to have, the white decals. And I was fortunate enough to find a vendor that can actually print it for me, that you don't have to buy 100 of it at each time.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, it really adds to it. So yeah, like, some of the professional printers, of course, they can print white, but you have to order like hundreds at a time,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Two questions. Some people are definitely wanting to know, how is that printed? Because it looks resin, right? Like, is that on a Jupiter or something? Or
no, it's actually a combination. So the large panels are done in FDM, and there's no way around it. You just have to sand and prime and sand and paint. So the larger panels, I generally would print the large panels in FDM. If they have like large flat surfaces, they're easier to sand, and it's just filler putty and primer. That's really all it is. But the smaller details, I keep having to pull it up, but the smaller details, like for example, these little engine pieces, and like the little winch that's at the front.
Yeah.
There.
Oh yeah.
Those little pieces would be in resin. So I don't have to go crazy sanding in those little creases and notches and stuff like that. But for the most part, like this is FDM.
Yeah.
But it's just FDM with a lot of sanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, as much as I want somebody to tell me like, here's the secret, and it's like an easy button to make amazing looking stuff. Like it's good to know that I'm not the only one spending hours and hours and hours sanding things.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one that I'm working on just for somebody in the group that can't finish things themselves, because they have problems with their hands and whatnot. So you can see the one here is just raw printed, and if I hold it to the light, you can kind of see all the lines and stuff to it.
Yeah.
And then this is just the first pass of sanding, so you can still see that there's a bunch of lines on it. So with this part here, I'll cover with with putty and then just sand it again. But once that happens, then it gets a real smooth finish. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of elbow grease just to get it, if you want to, because I know a lot of guys like, if they print in color and if the print's good enough, then it's good enough for them. But for me, I tend to like it a little bit smoother. So, that's just my personal preference, but I think to each its own, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So moving on. So I have a snake armor as well.
Gorgeous.
It looks
So
so good.
like this one, you can kind of see that as you print it, if it's all white, it looks one way, but once you put the stickers on, you can see it really kind of pops with all the little color details. Now, I will mention though that, as this one is, I kind of kept it to the look of the toy where I kept everything white. But and Mark, I know you had Giles on your show quite a few times. He got one from me and he painted all the little details.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that's the first time that I saw all those little details painted, and it's a game changer for me. It looks fantastic with every little bit painted.
Yeah. It's when you've just got a solid color at these smaller scales, because you don't get the highlights and the shadows that you
Yep.
would on a full size thing. When they're implied, when they're painted on, man, like just wow.
Yeah.
Just wow. And he is, no kidding, so good at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yep.
And here's my trouble bubble.
Yeah.
So this one here, okay, so I kind of cheat a little bit, because
You did
people
a
ask
wash?
me, because people ask me how do I paint stuff, and I generally don't like to spend a whole lot of time making everything clean, and people like to sometimes say that it makes it more realistic. Honestly, for me, I'm just lazy, because if I throw some dirt on it, then it looks good, but I'm not spending nearly as much time, making it nice and shiny and smooth. So I just throw dirt on it most of the time. But you can see, but you can see on the trouble bubble, I kind of went a little bit outside of the original toy, because I never did like the fact that it landed on like a literal box. So I kind of put some skids on there.
Yeah.
I made the front that you're able to tilt down. Oops. He has his hand on the control stick, but the idea is that, the front part would tilt down so he can get in and out. So
Great job on that
logo.
That
canopy
looks
too.
really nice.
Great job on that canopy. And that
Thank
was
you.
elbow grease as well. I know it was.
That is resin printed and elbow grease, because in order to get it clear, you do have to sand to a very fine grit. So, yep. And then if you guys know what this one is,
Oh yeah.
this is the Cobra jetpack. So again, it's kind of funny because I took a look at the toy, and as if you're familiar with the toy, the back fin and the guns were all the same piece. So when it comes up, the back fin would move with it. So and one of the things that I generally try to do with the models that I do is kind of add a little bit of a real world take on it. So in the real world, the guns would rotate, but the fin would not. So I kind of separated them out a little bit. But you can see, So there's that.
I thought that was when I was a kid. I thought that was an odd piece because it was so squared off. But yeah, it just looks gorgeous.
Thank you. Now I wanted to show this too. This is something simple. Actually, one of the guys from the G.I. Joe costuming group that I'm in, he asked me to make one of these for him. So I said, okay, it looks simple enough. So it's just a Cobra bunker.
Yeah.
Now this one is. Thank you. Got the little guns on the back. And again, kind of like going off the idea of making it real world. I noticed that the original toy only had the slot for the guns, but you can't really see what you're doing. So I added some slots up here so the characters can actually look out.
Wow.
Nice.
That's so dope.
Yep. And then of course the jump pad. You guys see the jump pad?
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Beautiful.
yes, sir.
Gosh, yeah, all your stuff looks just so refined. It looks
Thank
so
you.
good.
And that's the jump pad there.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Now the last thing is what I'm working on today, but I'm going to have to pull this one up.
And then Sean,
So this one here,
we got a
Yeah.
question while you're pulling that up. What software are you using to?
I'm using a software. If you're familiar with SolidWorks, it's actually Creo. It's like the #1 rival of SolidWorks. So if you're familiar with SolidWorks, it's basically the same thing. So my background is mostly doing mechanical things. So I'm really envious of some of you guys that can do the figure sculpting. Mine is totally in the mechanical world. So
Hard surface.
yes, exactly. Yep. So this is what I'm working on today, and I've been working on this one for a couple years. I took a little bit of time off. I think when you see it, you'll know why. I kind of stopped working on it for a while, but this is so this is just the prototype. You can see that there's no bottom to it yet, but it's just my prototype.
Yeah.
So this is this is what I'm working on right now. It's got the
Wow,
movable
is-
treads.
So
That's
the
gorgeous.
treads are links, correct? It's not a rubber belt.
Correct. Because as I'm looking at some of these things, I'm looking at the treads and I'm like, well, the rubber treads are nice, but I kind of want to make it more durable because as you're printing rubber, sometimes that stuff can stretch and it can crack and stuff like that. So yeah, these are just individual links that are basically snapped together. So there's about 50 links on each side, and they all move. So
Wow.
Gorgeous. I
Yeah.
love the detail you've added to the gun. I love the bars you've got on the back so they can hold on to it. Just absolutely fantastic. And then you're gonna have the drop down cockpit. And oh Jesus.
Yeah, there we go.
so this comes out, and it has storage for rifles.
That's so cool.
So originally, people were asking when I was showing the first images of this that they wanted to see like 3 or 4 figures pop in there, but there's honestly, with this
There's no
being
room.
in there,
Yeah.
there's no room. So this goes in there. There's no room. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
plus that's
actually-
where Megatron's face is.
That's right. And I did want to show
That's
one little
gross,
feature
Mike.
that I had, that this pops off. This gun pops off. And if you just rotate this 180 degrees, and then you can actually put this on there.
Oh,
Oh, beautiful.
Did that come right off of the Stinger or is it modified? That's a different one.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Okay.
You'll see that there's kind of like a cover. on it.
Okay. Oh man, even that looks beautiful. Jesus.
Yeah. And
Oh my God.
it's all held in there with magnets. So
Oh, I gotta step up my game.
so there's that. Yep. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on this year.
just this year. Hey, Sean, are
Oh, that is gorgeous.
those links
All right.
for that, like from a like a robotic set or something like that? Like where are those from? The links for the
The tread?
Oh, the links for the shred. No, I actually made those all from scratch.
Okay. So,
Wow.
Yep.
wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing that post in the group and thinking, how the hell do I get there? Like, because that's to me, what you're making is like a perfect, definitive, like classic hiss. It's just like, I look at it and it's like you're doing all the things I wish it would have. It's perfect.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
it's
saw the steel bar for the it's going to be strong. It's solid. It's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, you pulled the canopy. Looks fantastic.
And you're doing the drop down canopy, right?
correct. The canopy, and I don't have one with me because the ones that I printed were not fitting, so I think I threw them away. But yeah, the canopy will drop down. So it's kind of like what is it? Is that the HIS 2 or the HIS 3?
It was the HIS 2 with the drop down canopy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Hiss 2 is blue, is just a regular Hiss, and it's blue
So
for
it's a
some
HIS
reason,
3.
and 3 is the light blue one with the big red gun, which was
Okay.
supposed to be the Hiss 1, but they like decided it was too big, so they
Yeah.
redesigned. They
Yeah.
shrunk
Okay.
it down and redesigned it to make the Hiss 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then actually, I wanted to show one more thing that I'm working on that actually just finished it, but it's not as cool as the HIS, but it's just at the night landing.
Yeah. You got some good detail on
Yep.
there too, though.
Nice.
Yeah, so this one here is all the little things that you're looking at here is just the infill for the resin. So I'm not printing the resin
Right.
100% because if I printed it 100%, it'll A, probably cost 10 times more, and B, it'll probably weigh like a brick.
Yeah.
That would be heavy.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
dope.
So I'm just finishing that up right now. This is actually a throwaway piece because I increased it by about 10% in size.
Yeah.
So this one is kind of like a prototype. Yep.
Very
So
John,
that's it.
thank you so much. I'm sorry to do this, but I got to start moving things along. We got a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much. Great to finally kind of talk to you face to face, sort of. And
Yeah, it's great to be on.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, our next guest is Juan Fuentes.
That's the button.
Welcome to the show, man. Good
Hi.
to have you.
For your invitation.
Say again?
I'm really happy to be here because when you write me, when I saw for the first time Mark 2D design was one of my inspiring 3D sculpts and the thing. So was like, oh, okay, really awesome that he's
Thank
inviting me
you.
on a podcast. So
Thank you so much.
that's really cool.
I from the first time you started posting stuff in the group, like it's clearly really well done stuff. So yeah,
you.
I'm glad we finally got you on the show. And I'll tell you what, I already want to have you back on at some point. Because we're not going to have enough time to talk about everything. But I think today we're going to talk about the Kickstarter most of all.
Yeah. Well, but, first I want to show that people upload to my Patreon the
Big boy.
that has the gloves, the armrest, and the head. I don't know.
Very nice.
I really love the G.I.JOE stuff. Is my plan, so I made a lot of characters that are not on the pipeline.
Not in the pipeline.
I don't know. This one is my last one, and I have the Perry the Fridge, the classic one. So that's my last sculpts for 3D print on G.I.JOE.
Cool.
Very
Do you,
nice.
do you want me to pull up the Kickstarter and we can talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Let me figure out. Add source. I apologize. They moved the buttons around on me since last time I did this. Here we go. There we go. All right, let me see if I can make that. Yeah, no, that's going to be it. Okay, so here we go, the Kickstarter.
Yeah, well, this I work here for Colombia. They work with Warner, Sega, and another company. The problem with them is that they cannot show in their doing. So they asked me if I want to make a personal project with small companies and another companies that they are able to. So that's why this project start. First, I talked with a couple of guys that make action figures, and they told me, "Oh, in Colombia are a toy factory, but we don't know if they are aviars." So that's why this project start to show there is a toy factory that we can make really good action figures because I work directly with them, so I know all the machine. They bought a new action, paint machine that makes. So I'm really excited to make this so to show that they are able to make action figures, different kind of toys, not only in China that everybody
Oh,
make toys in China. So that's
Yep.
It's
the
like no kidding. It's uh and I because we ran into each other at Joe Fest last year, and you handed me
yeah.
a, a pamphlet for that place, and it I think once your Kickstarter goes and you have these gorgeous figures coming from this factory, like it's going to be a bit of a game changer, not having to deal with crossing the
going
Pacific.
far, yeah, far east,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, like this could kind of really blow up for that factory if when these things are successful. So
That's the final. Well, for me, the final goal is action figures to grow the world of Fist, but the goal is to kind of show people the small companies that they are able to make action figures. So
Yeah.
that's exciting because I really want to help. There is a lot of talent on the sculpts and different things like vehicles, gears. So, but I know that a lot of with China about the delays, about the best materials to make the action figures and different things. So that this project makes all the goals to show people that we are to make awesome products for the collectors.
Sweet.
I really like
Yep.
the I guess the universe that's probably the right way to describe it. It's really leaning into kind of like a high concept sci-fi
Yeah,
thing. And I know when I first saw the pictures, just because you've got like orc looking characters, like my mind immediately went Shadowrun, um, which I'm a huge fan of, and yeah, they're just fantastic, man. The figures
yeah.
are
Thank you,
absolutely fantastic. I'm pretty
thank you, thank
excited.
you.
Yeah, I really love the concept.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, come on.
Inter-
How long is your Kickstarter running? Like, what's their time frame on?
It's will be running for until January of next year. We will take 4 months reach the goals. We will take 4 months making the molds because the molds are the most that is the that takes more time.
Absolutely.
We wanna take sure that the molds will be really good to make that we can, and then we thought that we will make the production and shipping on next October. To they have they have
that's
another company in the US to LA. Uh, from LA, we're gonna start shipping to the rest of the world.
Of the world?
Okay.
that's like October's like that is a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
Like if you're thinking
well,
you're gonna have no kidding product in hand next October, like that's a big deal. That's pretty awesome.
we want if we reach the 4, the factory told me that they are gonna put their own money to make the Kickstarter give us the money because they are really excited to. They are in the business for I think 20 years, so they from entertainment. They know the people from Kotobuki, so they want to show them that this project is to buy um, IPs or everything. I hope
Mhm.
that we reach the goals to make this happen. So something like
Yeah,
yeah.
this is
So
great
okay,
talk.
because English is not my strong language, but
Yeah,
No, you're doing great, man. You're doing great.
your English, the connection's not the greatest, and that's more of an issue than
Yeah, that's
anything
all.
else.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's understandable. Like you're uh, pretty far away.
All right,
Yeah,
this is
Cool.
sick.
I have here some prototypes.
Ooh,
Oh,
hold on. Let me.
yeah, go ahead and maximize that, Mark, if you can.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to get this other thing out of here now.
Oh, there we go.
And this is
Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks so good.
Did you create that prototype yourself? Did you make that?
yeah. I made it here in my home because I want um, prototypes to see if the details are really great. Guns will fit not only in my line with the scale will be great. So I make these prototypes here in my home. They are not the best. Actually, I need to solve them because they break really fast print. But
Yeah.
yeah, I make these prototypes here in
What
my house.
what software do you use for designing these things?
Brush.
ZBrush?
Only ZBrush. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the. I learned in my college. I learned Rhino 3D. So I start making guns in Rhino, but when that blew my mind because it's really easy to use. I work in clay, but the good thing is that if you make a mistake, you can correct. For the people that are interested to start, I really recommend ZBrush. You can learn because in YouTube you find a lot of tutorials and a lot of things. It's a really good thing to start.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Awesome. All right, man. Hey, I gotta move on to the next guest, but I think at some point in the not too distant future, we're gonna definitely try and get you back on. You've been
All
just
right,
doing
good.
amazing stuff. So,
Thank you
Buena
very much.
suerte. Buena
Thank
all right, man. Have
you.
a
Thank
good
you
one.
very
Hey,
much too. Bye.
thank you.
Oh, I don't want to look at me like this. Hold on. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, so welcome, Mr. Greg Eason.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Pretty good.
What you got for us? Let me kind of maximize you. Boop. There we go.
It's I've got a lot on my desk over here. So I think what got me started into this was when Classified was first released, I was kind of wanting some diorama type stuff, and I built my original watchtower, which was based off of the OG watchtower, and I all of a sudden decided that I wanted to put this up on Etsy and make an Etsy account and see if I can't do something with this. And the watchtower was probably very popular. There was a very real thirst out there for any type of classified scale play sets or vehicles or diorama type stuff. And it's since blown up. And I've been wanting to make certain things, and after getting into 3D printing just this past year, I only started in January, and I never modeled a toy in my life. And so I've been in sheet metal fabrication my whole life, and it's all been laser type stuff, punch press, real industry type items. And moving to plastics like this has been a real eye opener on how things go together and how to design things to fit. So it's been a fun process, and I definitely feel my skill set's getting better over the year. But having said all that, I've had my original watchtower with the sandbags up top, and I decided to make a more deluxe one. And so I have, not only do I have fences now.
So is that fence 3D printed? Sorry.
Yes. Yep.
So am I looking at
Wow.
It's an FDM print?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, you like flat on the bed and it does it, and
Well, so these are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces.
okay.
So I print all the posts separately, then I print this to lock into the posts.
Okay.
Okay. Is it just fits so nice that it's together, or do you use some glue?
Nope, I don't have to use any glue. It locks them together.
Awesome. God bless you, sir.
So these all fit. You can have I've already had people order like 10 of these, which I'm blown away by some ordering 10. That's a really big area to cover. But yeah, I've got 9-degree posts as well, so you can actually have this, coming out 9 degrees as well.
Well,
and I also had
so before I forget, I apologize. Where do people find your stuff?
I am Pixis Designs on Etsy.
Okay.
I can also be found Pixis Designs on YouTube, and King Grimlock on Instagram.
Okay.
King Lim.
Oh, do you like Transformers or something?
I do. That's been my passion for the last 20 years.
Nice. Outstanding.
Right.
So what kind of
Funny thing.
just real quick, I'm sorry. So the watchtower I'm looking at, is that FDM?
Yeah, this is all FDM printed.
Looks fantastic. Looks absolutely fantastic.
And it's got the opening door.
Cool. I need more room.
Yeah.
I need more room.
I don't even have room to display the stuff that I have, and then I'm fixing to show that my little Wraith project that I've just recently finished up, and I'm really shocked that somebody wanted me to make
Wow.
almost a 25-inch long version of it, double the width.
Wait, double the width of that?
Are you talking about like making it just a bigger scale, or making
Just
like a stretched troop carrier one?
It's a much stretched version. There's added probably about the same length as this, added to the length of this, and it's almost 26 inches long.
Holy cow.
But it's got the spinning blades, rotating. I've actually got, where you can put crates in the back of it too. So, you can order those as well to go back in there.
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed by the design of this, just in that it's tough to bring something into the Joe universe that doesn't clearly not fit, because we're so accustomed to looking at all these designs, and that thing is like this great combination of, if you take the fans away, like just the way it's designed looks like it could have been based on a late World War II Vietnam era machine of some type, and then you futurized it with the fans, and it's perfect. It's perfect. I love that thing. Like it just works. Like everything about it works.
Yeah, I've been fascinated with the quadcopter. After I did my Locust, I don't have enough room to put everything out here, but I got my Locust up there as well. You can see it right there, the red one and the black one. after I did that one, I kind of liked the whole VTOL thing, so I wanted to do a quadcopter one, and I figured that would be a super heavy quadcopter for like the Joes to be able to go in and do what they need to do, maybe possibly drone capable. And I don't know, those of you that follow Instagram, 12th parallel. I hope I didn't botch that up. He's the one that ordered the 26-inch long one, and the pictures that dude posts of it are insane. I'm happy that he is getting as much fun out of that thing as what I see that his pictures are doing.
Well, like that for a lot of guys, like that's how we play with the toys now, is setting up these scenes and taking these, the toy photography. We're not playing like we did when we were kids, but being able to interact with them and I love that damn thing, man. Like it really is great.
That's one of the things that I want to make sure that whenever I make something, that it's the highest quality that I can make it, because I know somebody's going to be taking pictures out there. And if it shows like a complete train wreck of a mess, I'm going to feel bad that I just sold that to them, and that other people may see that and think, that's terrible.
So this is my. That's beautiful.
Yeah. A little part of me is jealous because that's on my short list of things I wanted to make.
Which one?
The Swamp Fire.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this I was happy about this. I don't normally. So all the G.I. Joe toys that I had when I was a kid was given away by my parents to my nephews and nieces. So, but this is one of the toys that I did have, and I've actually got my little Snake Eyes left from when I was a kid. But this was definitely one of my favorites as a kid, just because of the stuff that you can do with it. It could be a boat or a helicopter, kind of like your mask toys,
Yeah.
But it's just
wow.
I just love the way it turned out. The colors came out great.
So is that all raw plastic? The color?
Yeah, this is all FDM printed. Nope, none of it painted.
Wow. Oh.
There he is.
Look how well that peg works.
Right.
I had this as a kid. I remember.
So I actually have holes in the pontoons, but just because FDM, it doesn't suit well for actual peg to go into a foot.
Sure.
That way, if you wanted to use like a nail or whatever, you can put the nail in there instead and actually have a solid platform to be able to use.
It's a good idea.
Nice.
I had that I remember very specifically getting that for Christmas, and it was not something I wanted. I don't remember there was something else that was available at that time that I really, really wanted and didn't get, and I got that as a consolation. And once I put it together, I loved it.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
That's dope. Yeah, well, like I said, I see a lot of things that I'm gonna be spending money on. So,
all right.
So, and I know we talked about the MMS as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yours is better. Yours is better. Well, I mean, the thing I did was meant as like a learning thing for people who wanted to see some fusion, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
And if I had one in hand, I probably could have been more precise. What's the extension on the trailer part there? What's the purpose of? Yeah.
So that's for future use, because it gets kind of close to the vehicle when you use the short extension, especially if you have something that's got a short back on it. So I just like to have it actually sitting out there as a longer tongue to be able to work with. But whenever I sell these, I supply both. So this can actually pull out. You could put the shorter extension in there, just like the OG one.
Very nice.
And of course, everything slides out like it's supposed to. I'm not going to mess with it just because the missiles aren't glued together yet. And this is a shippable product, so I don't want to put it all together.
I love the desert yellow, the tan, like that. It looks so good.
It came out so great. And the ripsaw that I had built with this, I've already sold to somebody else. They didn't want this to go with it, so it's already gone to its own happy home.
Outstanding.
Someone says, "Will Pixis be 2023?"
There it is. What was the?
I don't know about that because I'm running out of. I can only put so many things in my store. It's getting to the point where I would have to, just kind of take things out or put one as a quantity per. But these things take a while to build up. This is actually still my prototype version. So, I make this now with silver cockpit, silver wheels. This is more of a gray color. Of course, I got painted lights on it, and I can make this now with the canopy. I'm probably going to be redoing this to where you can do it.
Oh.
Let me try to do this.
Did I hear a ratchety sound?
Yes, there's a spring in here. Spring loaded.
Awesome.
And this also comes up.
What kind of machine are you using? These are beautiful prints.
Prusa.
Okay.
I've got 4 MK3 S's and 4 Prusa Mini pluses.
Are you using just like a 0.2 nozzle on it, or do you know?
Everything I print is 0.4.
0.4. Wow.
0.4. These are dope. What do you call these? What do you call your tanks here?
The Ripsaw.
Well, this is the Ripsaw Wolverine.
Okay.
I wanted a version of the Wolverine, so I made it. and that's the great thing about getting into this hobby is if you think about it, just make it, and I've just kind of went full bore into it.
Awesome.
And this is modular too, so I can pull this thing off. And I actually don't. Oh yeah, here it is. So here's the truck bed. Let me get it in here. And it's a trip carrier as well.
Oh wow. Are those rubber treads or links?
They are print in place links.
Oh wow. Okay. So you print in place?
Meaning it prints it one thing and then you kind of break them apart, but they still stick together?
It means I can print 7 pieces and snap them all together instead of printing 250 or so to put them all together.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Awesome.
And I just got one more thing to show here.
All right.
I'd have more, but I just don't have the room in here. So this is based off of this was the second design that I made after my flak, or after my watchtower was the flak. Right. I don't actually have a flak built up. I've sold them all, but this is the Megatron flak.
Wow, dope.
Yeah, brilliant.
Love it.
Brilliant. Ugh. I remember seeing the pictures of this thing and just being like, shit.
Some things are really susceptible for a crossover, and you see it immediately.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is brilliant. And was there a Shockwave one as well?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
It's up there, but I couldn't get to it.
No worries. I just, oh man. Yeah, God bless you, sir. Like you really. I don't know how to put it to words. Like you've really been able to combine some things and create some new things that fit perfectly into the universe, right? At the classified scale. Because there's some stuff that like it just isn't right. There's things that don't look right, don't feel right, but your stuff is just absolutely perfect, just fantastic.
Thank you.
And the prints are beautiful.
I definitely try.
I'm gonna bring everybody back in, and we're gonna kind of try and wrap this up. I don't know if Steve's around anymore. We lost a couple folks. Oh well, we did go a pinch longer than I had hoped. That's okay.
And also, can I lay a shout out to Sean, because we just did a little quick collaboration on. He just did some stickers for my Swap Fire.
Nice.
Thank you, man.
Good. So, Mark, it looks like Steve is backstage, so you
Oh,
can bring him back in.
Yep. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. God, I gotta get better.
No.
I gotta dial my damn printers in. Actually, I have to have my wife dial the damn printers in, and I need to get more work done. Holy crap! Just
Well, it's amazing to see, like, anniversary to see all these great people from the group doing such creative things. You know, that's what it was all about. We wanted to start the group to inspire people, showcase stuff, and get people really thinking. Well, you know, we have this technology. What can we really? You guys are showing out, basically.
yeah. And like Greg, you said you've only been doing this like a year.
Yeah.
What a year! Holy crap!
I know it has been a whirlwind.
What a year. Okay. So again, thank you, everybody. You've made me feel like I suck, but that's okay. I'm gonna work harder. And holy cow!
Oh, real quick, what's everybody's Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah, feel free. Mike, you want to start? We'll just Brady bunch around this thing.
I'm just Mike Redmond on Facebook.
Are you not? You're not on Instagram at all?
I don't have an Instagram page that's like current for anything. I'm gonna make one soon.
Yeah. Okay. When you do, let us know. We'll certainly plug it for you.
Cool, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Steve?
S3D_toys on Instagram, or Steve's Toys on Facebook, but best on Instagram.
Cool. Sean?
So my Facebook page is Zero Props. So up there.
Yeah.
And I mainly show my work in progress. So all the stuff that I'm working on is on Zero Props. But on Instagram is Mr. Zero, and that's more of my finished stuff I put on there.
Cool. Mr. Techno Viper? That's you, Mike.
So mine is Techno Viper 3D. So I post all my models to Facebook, to the group, but any printed and painted pieces that I do, I post up on my Instagram.
That's what's up.
Juan?
Love it. Well, you know, most people wear to me, but Viper Pit Toys on Facebook, that has not translated over to Instagram yet. But yeah, Viper Pit Toys.
Cool. And Greg, one more time?
My business on Facebook is Pixis Designs. Can be found on Instagram at King Grimlock. And of course, my Etsy store is Pixis Designs as well.
Cool. All right, everybody, thank you so much. This has been awesome. This has been awesome. And we're gonna wrap it up. And we kept it under like 5 hours. So pretty cool.
It's all right.
It went a little long last time. It's okay. So, all right. Hey, everybody, thank you again. And I think next month what we're going to do is either we'll kind of circle back around to where we started and talk about kind of either a getting into 3D printing, 3D design episode, or I may do, because I've had a lot of people asking questions about slicing lately, so I may do like just a slicing demo type of thing. So we'll see. So thanks again, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.